he's back, in other words, with some of his favorite stock picks. And you guys know one thing for sure, I'll argue with him on any that I disagree about. Steve, welcome back.
Thanks.
You hanging in here all right?
We definitely should have done this a couple of minutes ago. I had 3 vodka tonics, and I came on as a bull. And I want to sell everything in my portfolio now. This is just crazy.
Alcohol can be a depressant, but no, you are just kidding. We don't drink on the show. It's just a joke.
Absolutely.
At any rate, talk to me about some stocks. What do you got for me first?
I think, as we said before, it's hard to pick a bottom in financials, but I do like Merrill. I think for everything I said before.
Let me put it to you this way then. Is this a trading call?
I think it's, you can't really leave it unattended, I should say. If you're going to buy it, you got to sell it on pops.
And you're talking about Merrill Lynch,
right.
MER, Goldman was another name.
Goldman Sachs. Every time Goldman dips below 200, you see how quickly it rallies right back to 200.
Here's my question, though. Again, can you just sort of throw it at the XLF, say an ETF that represents those, or do you have to find an individual name? Because you bring on more risk with the individual names. But if you're just making a trading call on the sector anyway, why not just use an ETF?
Yeah, I think it's easier for the average Joe to just go with the XLF. I think if you really have a gut instinct, then I truly believe that Merrill, with John Thain at the helm, is going higher. Merrill just bounced from like below 50. It's already up like 15%.
Doesn't
matter. It's going to be up 25% in 3 years. Depends on what your timeline is.
All right, give me another one. Palm? Of all things, the thing's trading at like 60 cents on the dollar. They got more in their checking account than the stock price is. It's half owned by a private equity company.
That's right.
What am I going to do with this thing?
That's right. Well, hopefully you sell it for a double. You know, I'm not sure on the Palm. I'm not sure on the Palm. I'm not get a cervical collar. You almost got whiplash on that one.
That hurt, man.
Not sure, not picking spots where it's going to get to. I think that your downside is limited. $6 play, you know what your downside is. $5 play, you know what your downside is.
In other words, $5.
Zero, exactly. So you got $5. Tremendous upside, though. Tremendous upside.
You could say the same thing about a $600 stock if you just buy one share instead of 100. It's the same thing, right?
I think, in all seriousness, I think you're leaning towards an Altria group. Philip Morris, MO.
An Altria group. MO, that's the name. I just want to, before we move on from Palm, I actually do like that one for a trade simply because it is trading at cents on the dollar. It's basically you're buying the company for less than the checking account. It means that's where I bought Apple. The reason I owned Apple initially was because it's $7 net cash and was trading at like $6.50.
Right.
Philip Morris. Obviously, Philip Morris has a little market cap that's bigger than the cash balance on the sheets.
But a little bit. And you still get the yield basically on a 10-year. You have the growth opportunity.
With Philip Morris, you get a yield, you get growth, and you were saying you also get the defense.
They have a spin-off, right? You have a defensive play on the recession worries.
Right.
But you also have the spin-off that's coming down the pike in the next couple of months.
So the growth guys are going to be happy. The value guys are in it. And then, of course, all the aggressive hedge funds that are bailing on RIM and Apple this year have been moving into it. Steve?
Triple win.
Interesting stuff.
Thanks, Cody. Good seeing you.
Of course, I'm just going to leave us with, anytime we can explain the triple win on Philip Morris, it's probably time to sell.
Sold.
So the way it works. And have 3 more vodkas, man. On tap, we're lining up a rocking round of not real vodka quick shots, including some news on some allegedly juiced, not sports stars, but fitty stars. And we're not talking athletes, guys. That's on tap next.